Okay, hello viewers, I want to still welcome you back to Learn with Brandon for the final episode about money. And I wish the previous one should have answered your question on how much money you are willing to lose. So for this one, we still want to begin from where we ended, bills and bonds, treasury bills and bonds, where we have seen that they are given by the government, where we expect the government by all means, since it gets taxes, so it has to pay back. So, Mr. Guloba, you are welcome back.
Thank you.
So continue educating us. So what I have heard of the term coupon being used in bills and bonds, because I listen to some people talk about financial literacy.
Yes.
So what do they mean by coupons?
So the coupon is what you earn, or the coupon is an income you get from your investment in a bond.
Income you get from
the income
investment
earned from investing in a bond.
Okay.
And of course, coupon is not really limited to treasury bonds
And bills.
It extends to what you call corporate bonds, because even a corporation can issue bonds. Just like the government issues bonds. In other jurisdictions, the word debenture is used.
Okay.
So
debenture.
you have a debenture, but those are technical terms for accountants, but it really depends on the jurisdiction. So here in Uganda, you don't find debenture, you find bond. So the coupon is that income earned from investing in a bond. Yeah. So some bonds actually do not have coupons.
Bonds?
Yes, there are bonds
not
that do
bills.
not have coupons.
Okay.
Yeah, bills are only issued by government, but bonds are issued by either a corporation or the government.
Yes,
There are bonds that have coupons, and there are bonds that don't have coupons. Those that don't have coupons are called zero coupon bonds. So you invest once at the beginning and then get the money back with interest at the end of the investment period, or the investment.
I get you.
Investment
so that is
term.
what like insurance, prudential assurance provides?
That's not called a bond, but it has the same mechanism. It has the same mechanism.
I get you.
Yeah. So, and another point on coupons, it is usually paid, the standard is usually after every 6 months. So if you have an investment term that lasts for a year, you'll have 2 coupon payments. One at the end of 6 months and another at the end of 1 year. So every year you'll get 2 coupons. But also it is not restricted, because in the interest of appeasing an investor, a company, for example, can say that I will pay a coupon every 3 months. I will pay a coupon every month. Yeah, in the interest of appeasing the investor, so that they get the money. But government, the coupon is 6 months.
Okay, thank you. So far, you are talking to a low income earner or a low risk.
Yes.
Okay. So because you have talked about land, government bills and bonds, are there other ways of investing beyond land, buying land, beyond bills and bonds, that you can still get good returns on investment?
Yes, there are. But before we progress there, I would like to make another point on bonds.
Sure.
And I like the fact that you emphasize that point of low-income earner.
Yes.
In order for one to invest in a bond in Uganda, the minimum is 100,000 shillings.
Sure. How could I have forgotten
So, if you have 100,000 shillings in your bank account, you can talk to your bank to invest that, unless your bank puts a minimum for it. But in the government, the lowest unit of a bond is 100,000 shillings.
yes.
In the US, that is put at $100. In the Euro jurisdiction, is put at 100 euros. Kenya,
Okay.
it's I think 1,000 shillings. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
okay.
10,000.
So it's depending on the country.
It depends on the country. In Uganda, it's only
Okay.
100,000 shillings. So if you have 300,000, then you'll get three bonds.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So every 6 months you
Every
get
6
some
months,
return.
you get a
Yes.
percentage
Okay.
paid to your account.
Mm-hmm.
And you access it through your commercial bank as long as it has dealings with Bank of Uganda.
Okay.
You don't go to Bank of Uganda directly.
Sure.
The intermediary is the bank.
It's the bank. Okay.
So where you bank is where you go. They open an account for you, and then you can you authorize them to take the money off your account and invest it. When
Yes,
it matures,
yes.
they put it back on the same account.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Is that all about coupons and
Yeah, that
deals
is
and
all.
bonds?
That is all.
Now
about.
we go to
So other means of investing or other investment vehicles, you
Yes.
have shares, as we call
stocks.
them in Uganda, or stocks as they are called in the US. So the difference is just the jurisdiction.
Okay.
In the British systems, they say shares.
Yes.
Okay. In the American system, they say stocks. So when they say common shares, common stocks,
The same.
or preference shares, preference stocks, they are talking about the same unit of ownership in the company. So a share, as we call it in Uganda, is a unit of ownership in a company. Shares can be acquired on a private arena,
Okay.
or they can be acquired on a public arena. Now, in the private arena, that is a space for big players.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So a private company like the one I work for can want to raise 1 billion shillings.
And it can.
And yes. And so they reach out to a private investor and tell them, we have this business proposition, give us money. So a person like that who has money lying around that they can invest in the company will invest in such and offer.
Sure. Yes.
So that's for big players. But on the public arena is where we have the stock exchanges,
Yes,
or the security exchanges, where corporations have offered their securities to the public, and then there is this avenue where buyers and sellers can freely exchange these securities quickly. Yeah. So you have in Uganda the Uganda Securities Exchange with very many listed companies, in which you have an opportunity to invest in.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you have your money, you put into these securities. You can choose any company that's available on the exchange. Recently, we had Airtel joining. Before that, we had MTN. There is Cipla, or Quality Chemicals. We have Stanbic Bank. We have Uganda Clays. We have New Vision. And other companies that are brought from other exchanges like Jubilee Insurance, Equity Group, Kenya Commercial Bank. So all those avenues are available. So in Uganda, you have a Uganda Securities Exchange, and by the way, you can check it out on use.org. You'll go and find all the details there. So shares are another level that someone, a common person like me or you, can utilize to invest their money. And in Uganda, you can invest as low as 30,000 shillings, because there are companies that are worth 30 shillings per share. And if you decide to buy 1,000 shares, then you're talking about 30,000 shillings. But of course, there are still intermediaries, just like the banks are intermediaries for bonds with Bank of Uganda.
Yes.
the the
Shares,
the intermediaries for shares are called stock brokers. Now, stock brokers are the member firms to the stock exchange.
Yes,
And
yes.
if you, Brandon, or I need to invest in the shares, I go to this stock broker who helps me to open up an account. Then I
Yes.
put money on that account. Then I give him instruction.
Do they charge me for the
Yes,
services they
there is
offer?
a charge. Now, for
Okay.
every transaction that you do, the last I checked, it was 2%.
Oh, okay.
2%. So if you're investing 100,000, then that would be 2,000 shillings.
Okay.
So
fair.
it's fair. But then, of course, we have to talk about the mechanics of how this works. And one of the things we are warned against in terms of investment discipline
Yes.
is to avoid the business of over trading, so that you minimize those costs. There is a thing that people usually do. People have been told that you can buy a company, a security, and sell it 2 days later, which goes to levels of speculation. I think we'll have an opportunity of talking about it in detail. But we need to know that that avenue is there. And a common person like me or you can access it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How it is done and the details, that should be a discussion for another time, because it's really detailed. But critical thing to emphasize is that before you invest, learn about the company. Take your time to learn about the company. I was impressed with a certain prominent investor in Uganda.
Yeah.
She's on the private space, who says, we asked her in a certain discussion, how do you source for investments? He says, I go to the supermarket and look at all the products that are there, and I observe which companies are
Make
there,
them.
which companies make them. I come from this supermarket and go to the other, and I notice that this company's product is in each and every.
Oh,
You
yes,
see?
Yes.
And then I get a picture that this company is actually making sales.
Yes.
And so by the time I go to talk to the entrepreneur, the owner of the company, I already have a lot of information about his company that they don't know I have.
Sure.
Yeah? So it's critical that as you get into this space, take time to understand the companies or the arena that you're going to invest in. It's that point that we made at first.
Sure,
it's critical to learn, read and know.
Okay, I get you.
Yes.
Takes a lot of discipline also.
Exactly.
So what should we do? Control our expenses or increase the income?
Both are critical. But at the first instance, when you have one income,
yes,
then the most important thing is to control the expenses.
Okay. What is the other side? What is the effect of not being able to, regardless of when you have a lot of income?
Yeah. Now they tell us that we need to learn to live within our means.
Yes.
We need to learn to live within our means. And by controlling expenses, I'm telling myself that I shouldn't spend more than I earn.
Yes.
But then we need to add to that in order to go to the next level of increasing income. Now, we've read the book Richest Man in Babylon.
Yes, I have.
You have read it?
Yes.
I've also read it. It's actually my favorite book on financial literacy.
It's good. It's
when I want to first read about financial literacy, I start from that book.
Sure.
But in that book, we are shown that the first thing to do,
put aside
something for yourself, and that is saving.
He says a part of all you earn is yours
to keep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
sure.
And Warren Buffett has said the same thing. Charlie Munger, the late, he died recently. He says the same thing. And most of the rich people we know, they teach us that the first thing we need to do is save.
I think that is the one you are trying to create a discipline.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, if I say 10%, then it's 10%. I put that away. Now, controlling the expense is to keep within the 90%.
Oh, okay.
Now, of course, for Christians, there is another component, which is tithe and offering.
Yes.
That also should go off first.
Yes.
Then you have the rest to keep within. Now, controlling the expenses is making sure that you fit within that.
Oh, okay.
What is left. And for someone that has one income, to answer your question, controlling expenses is the most important thing. But once you've saved, then you're creating an opportunity to increase your income.
Yes.
By investing that money into assets that can bring you
more money. Okay.
Yeah. I also mentioned that both are critical, because even when you have one income, then you have to invest in your ability to multiply that very income besides the investment income. Because we have our salary.
Yes.
Right?
Sure.
Our salary, but there's also investment income. When you save, you invest an investment income. But even at this level, it's critical to increase your ability to earn more.
Okay.
Yes.
Some people are there thinking that they have tried all they can, but they have no luck. What is your thought on luck? Because the other person says luck favors a prepared mind, and maybe this person has tried each and everything, but they see this. So what is your comment on luck?
And I'm also in favor of the position that says luck is more beneficial to someone who is prepared. Okay. That is my personal position, but it's possible, because if we are to understand luck happens like something good happens to you when you didn't expect it to.
Yes, you didn't see it coming.
You didn't see it coming.
Yes.
So it happens. I didn't expect 1 million shillings, then someone comes and gives me 1 million shillings.
Yes.
That's luck.
Sure.
Or if I'm into gambling is not good, by the way, then I go and beat the house.
Yes.
Yeah, I put in 10,000 shillings and I hit the jackpot, and boom, 2 million shillings. That is luck. It's not something you can do repeatedly.
Sure. Yeah.
You get it? So that's the point with luck. But I want to go back to the other point, that for me, I'm more inclined to the position that says fortune will come to us if we are prepared for it. There is a book I read called Common Stocks and Uncommon Profits.
Yes.
And this guy was making a point for a company that must have potential
Yes.
to come up with products that will enable it to increase its sales over time. Because in investment, that is critical.
Yes.
He said some companies are fortunate and able.
Yes.
Other companies are fortunate because they are able.
Mm-hmm.
In both cases, there is ability. In other words, implying preparation.
Yes,
Then when the fortune comes, I'm prepared.
Yes.
And I take this model and apply it to the individual.
Yeah.
If I'm going to score a job opportunity, I will fall in the first class, fortunate and able.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
If a new opportunity comes up, and I can take it on because of the experience I have.
Sure.
You get it?
Experience.
You get it? Fortunate because I am able, right? I create my luck.
Oh, yes.
I create my luck. I am an accountant
Yes.
in a job. Then I progress from that and say, but I can be an accountant for 2 other companies.
Yes.
Then I create a service business where I offer accounting services to multiple people.
Sure.
Basically replicating my fortune or my luck.
Yes.
But the constant is I must be able to take up the opportunity when it does what? When it comes up. But that is my opinion.
Sure. And you're entitled to it.
Sure.
For us to end this, well, what is your say on how we can really prepare ourselves to be able to see opportunities, to be able to create opportunities, or even to be able to make use of those opportunities if they are there?
Okay, my say would be I would go back to... No, before I go back there, I think it's critical for us to set goals for ourselves.
We need goals.
We need goals.
Yes.
We need goals. Now, when we set goals, then we have to have the discipline and the determination to reach
Those goals.
And so that includes all the preparation that has to be done in order to achieve those goals. And that means I have to position myself in such a way that each and everything or each and every person that can enable me reach that goal, I bring them to my fold.
Oh, okay.
So if I have to make friends with Brandon, because Brandon has a quality that adds value to me to reach my goal, I befriend Brandon.
Okay.
But in order to befriend Brandon, I have to make myself a good friend to Brandon also. Because if I bring
he will
Brandon,
leave you.
He will leave.
Yes,
he will leave
yes,
if he doesn't also benefit from me. You know what the Bible says, iron sharpens iron. So if I need iron Brandon, then I need to be iron Joseph. So that iron sharpens what?
Itself, the other side.
It sharpens the other side. So then you avoid anybody or anything that derails you from reaching the goal you've set for yourself. Okay. And when we say success really is not just about I am rich now.
True,
because if I've become rich and that was my goal, then I've reached my goal, I'm ready to die. But nobody is ready to die.
No one.
Exactly.
No
so the goal has to be, something that is, they tell us when
today.
They tell us when we are coming up with visions for our companies.
Yes.
Come up with a vision that is aspirational and inspirational. Something that inspires you to go on and something you're always aspiring to. So if you can reach it, then it can't be a vision. It has to be something that you never reach, never reach. For us Christians, we say that is heaven.
Sure.
When you reach heaven, or when you come to the point of dying, and you are certain, like Paul, that I will enter heaven, then you're ready to die.
Thank you so much, JJ. I truly have been blessed by your acceptance of this invitation. So I have heard it all. To end, you are saying you need goals. You and I need goals. And number 2, we need the determination and discipline to reach those goals. And number 3, among the discipline, we need to bring those we think are going to help us in that direction. So may the Lord help us also because that discipline needs another power. Sometimes you plan this thing and another thing happens. So, but all in all, we want to grow, we want to develop, we want even for Uganda to grow. it's individual people must grow. So I pray that's why I made this possible, that we need to learn about money such that we grow. At least as long as you know something, then you take steps towards the development of it. So, Mr. Guloba, thank you so much for blessing us.
Thanks for having me.
Looking forward to having you again.
I'm looking forward to being here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.